Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm going to do another deck profile, and this time will be on the Royal Paladin deck profile. So if you saw my unboxing video last week, you know that I did crack the Daigo special set. So of course you'll be seeing this starting Vanguard. So of course starting Vanguard we are running Ambrosius, since it's a Daigo special set. So of course we are using the new stuff. In our key unit, of course, is the Sanctuary Guard Dragon. So this is a new card from Daigo set, and it's the main grade 3. And I want to have a try on him, so I put him at 4. So his skill is a permanent skill on Vanguard Circle if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, and if you have a grade 1 unit, this unit original crit become 2, so he can just swing for 2 damage as long as you have a grade 1 and opponent is grade 3. Very simple. And second skill, once per turn, if this card is not being boosted, attacked it and the battle ends, counterblast 1, rest 3 of your grade 1 units as rest from back row, and discard 1 card. Then you can stat this unit, and for the turn, all your friendly units get 10k. So just simply by himself you can do a 13-23 swing with 2 critical, which can be strong. And since this card is making your original critical becomes 2, so you won't put any force 2 marker on him, and which also means you have a higher chance to use force 1, so he can probably be doing a 23-33k attack with crit. And then some backup plans. I'm actually running 3 MLBs. So there are many different builds existing right now. I saw, for example, people using just 4 of the Sanctuary Guard Dragon, and some people are using a grade 3 dragon as a common, which is this guy, where you can color pass 1 soul pass 3 to draw a lot of cards and call them all out. And my take is to use MLB for a few reasons. One, I can gain force markers when using MLB. I don't need to have Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark, but of course I do have them in the deck. But the gaining 2 force marker doesn't require you to put in Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark, or having them in soul. But if you do have them in soul, at least as a rearguard, you can get a crit. So, which means you can simply spam all your force markers to all your front rows, and don't worry about too much on gaining crit, and consider if you need to use force 2 or not. By using MLB, you reduces the chances you need to go for force 2 and just can simply go for force 1 and keep building up your soul, so you have resources to keep reusing. Then let's enter our grade 2s, which first I'm running 4 of the Wickstun. So this is the one of the key card of the deck, and the new card from the Daigo set, where you, as a regard, if you have a Sanctuary Guard Vanguard, and for each back row grade 1 you have, this card get 5k. So he himself, when you do like full on with Sanctuary Guard with your grade 1s, he is a 25k base, and with Sanctuary Guard you can pump him to 35. So very strong attacker. And when he appears on Vanguard and Riga Circle, by counterblasting 1, you can look at top 7 and call up to 1 grade 1 from your deck, and then shuffle your deck. So he also help you build up your grade 1s, build up your field, so you can be easier to use Sentry Guard skill. Then I am running 3 pairs of the blasters for a few reasons. One, of course, since I'm running MLB, there's no reason that I need to skip these guys. And two, it's also about the resources that I have. Since Royal Paladin is not my main deck, so I don't have a lot of support, and I have not bought any of the Oldmar starter, so I won't have access to like Lever Rod and any other grade 2s that may be useful. But like ignore that part. These two are still very strong unit, because when you're using Blaster Blade, you can still kill a front row if you want to, and if you are going to rush your opponents, where you put a lot of regards on the field, he can gain a crit. And for Blaster Dark, if your opponents have no field, you can discard a card and gain a drive. So both two cards can help you speed up the game, and then which when you goes to MLB or when you goes to Sanctuary Guard, you can try to aim to kill your opponent on the first turn, right? That's the plan. And that's the reason that I am actually running these parts, not only because I'm lacking of resources, but from the resources that I have, this is one good solution as well. And that's basically all the grade 2s that I run, which I have 10 grade 2s, and now we enter grade 1s, which will be the biggest part of the deck. So first, running 4 of the body side. So body cell, yeah. So his skill, first skill, when appears in Vanguard Circle, look at top 7, find for a Wixton or a Sanctuary Guard, shuffle the deck. Then very easy, so help you lead to your grade 2 and likely do your grade 3 pickup, because you do want them to be in your hand to help you search for grade 1s, help you to be on main right and finish your opponents off. And second skill, which is where he shines, is when you have a Sanctuary Guard, Vanguard, when it attacks during a battle, you give that card 10k. So with a force marker, your Sanctuary Guard can already become a 23k. And if you don't have any face-up damage in your damage zone, you can counter charge 1. Even though the same name card can only use the effect once per turn, but like allows you to basically simply counter charge when your Sanctuary Guard attacks, and also give him power, which is very, very massive benefit to the deck. Unless your opponent's like not giving you a single damage, as long as this guy is on the field and you have your Sanctuary Guard as your Vanguard, you can definitely get the skill off. So this card is very important, and you just try to protect it with like all cost if you can. And then I'm running a 3 of this Sisyphus. So he's the grade 3 searcher, and I don't always see myself getting the 5k plus off, so I'm not running him like max out, because I do have a lot of cards that search the key parts that I need. This research, and my Vanguard Brave will also search. So Vanguard Brave, I can search for a blaster, which I can search for these 3 depending on what I need. So maybe I actually can go for MLB first if I almost have all my parts. But if I'm lacking them, then at least I can pick up a grade 2 ride, or maybe a grade 3 ride. But if I pick for a grade 2 ride, then I probably can just go for Sanctuary Guard and just win the turn. So another search toolbox. Then 3 of the Allens, so that I can do some like kind of recycling on hand, so I can call one out, I can draw a card, also gain some power, do some early rush. Nothing much to say. Then I am running 2 of the Enchanter. Since I do run Blaster Blade, so I do give myself a chance to of course, soul charge and counter charge. Because we only do have him for counter charge, which you can see the deck is quite counterblast heavy. This use counterblast, this use counterblast, these two use counterblast, this use counterblast. So we do want to try find some ways to counter charge. Imagine sometimes we may not have him in hand, so things can happen. And talking about counterblast, I'm also running one of the Soul Guiding Elf. I found this card interesting when I'm looking through the great ones, which is said when your opponent is calling Sentinel from hand to Guardian Circle, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or higher, counterblast 1 to draw a card. So this is like in the past, since not a lot of Vanguards can gain critical until we meet MLB, but MLB's room is quite tight, so I don't see a room that you can use her. Well, of course, you do have the Messianic Lord Blaster, something like that, that can also gain a lot of crit, but that deck is also kind of fixed because you need to use like almost every single blaster unit on the field in order to get his effects off, so you won't be able to use the elf. But now, these two both can gain crit. So, you can simply just counterblast 1 and draw a card, because they likely going to use Sentinels to guard you. Even if they're not, then you just let it like happen later, because it didn't say which attack it counts. So even if you have a Sanctuary Guard Vanguard attack 2 times, your opponents just, for whatever reason, they don't use any Sentinels, they just normally guarding, they take the damage, whatever, and then when your MLB with crit swing at them, they need to use Sentinels, you still can get to counterblast 1 and draw 1. So the timing is on your hand, and it's not once per turn. Like, if you really have all the counterblast that you have nowhere to spend, you can simply just force them to PG, 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 and for every single PG you counterblast 1 and draw a card, which will also lead you to have a more defensive like way to protect yourself, at the same time get prepared for the next turn. But of course, best of the best is you can win on your first grade 3 ride, if not the next. So let's quickly go through the triggers. I'm running 8 crits, 4 draws, and 4 heals. So the reason I am running 4 of the draw PG is because I can't find the 30k shield enough to protect myself. Because like in current manner, we do have a lot of high power attackers, no matter Vanguard or Regard, and 30k usually is not enough. So instead of like making the calculation games, I rather to use PG to make sure I just don't get hit. Yeah, and draw is still kind of helpful here, but I actually can't put too much room for draws, so I'm using draw PG instead. And then the rest will become crit and heal, so that I can just try to find myself always to, like, every single attack can be at least 2 to 3 damage, ideally. And like Blaster Dark can chain drive, my MLB can triple drive, so just keep trying to find my crits. From there, pressure my opponents and win from there. Yeah, so that's basically the list, and let's quickly go through on some riding options that you can have and some moves that you can do with this deck. Okay, so your grade 1 ride, if you are going second, you can simply ride a Vanguard Brave to search for yourself a blaster, hopefully a grade 2. You can try to search for a grade 3. If you really don't have any grade 3s, then you can actually ride him to try to search for a grade 2 or grade 3 Sanctuary Guard or Winston. But if you ask me, I will put him as a second option, because I do want to keep at least one as a regard, so that I can just countercharge and pump my Sentry Guard up. So for grade 2s, every single option works, but depending on the situation. If your opponents have like nothing on the field, or maybe one regard, then you can simply just blast the dark, discard a card, try to get 2 more hands. If they do have a lot of stuff, then you can, depending on what you have, for example, if you really do need attacker, save him, write a Blaster Blade, try to build up your board like whatever, like this, or even something like this. Make sure you try to gain a crit and swing. Try to push there. And when you enter grade 3, again, both option works, but see actually how fast you want to kill your opponents. If you do have all the great ones ready, whatever they are, but make sure you do have one, then you can go for Sentry Guard, of course, because you can restand and attack. But if you actually are going first and you do have one blaster in soul and one blaster that you can call to the field or already on the field, then simply go for MLB first. Reason why is even if the Sentry Guard can restand, can do double chain drive, there's no guarantee that you can actually finish your opponents there, because your original critical is still 1. So worst case is 4 of your chain drive are nothing, not critical. So by going for MLB, you do have a few things. One, once you have the pair, he is a 18k base, so easier for you to survive for a turn. 2, he is a 2 crit 3 drive Vanguard, so it's only 1 drive less, 1 attack less, but what you can gain from there is more, because you can actually gain 2 more force, which means you have 3 force markers, which likely you can put 2 of them behind your Vanguard, like under your Vanguard, and 1 to the Riga circle. And next, when you ride your Sentry Guard with whatever, with like another MLB on the field, then you can spread another force marker on the Riga circle, and with this guy in, your first attack will already be 43, and after you restand, it's a 53. So by doing this, the pressure is actually higher, but of course, if you are going second, then feel free to just go for Sentry Guard and swing 2 times with 2 crits. Yeah, so that basically is your options, and nothing too much that you need to care about. This deck is actually quite easy to pilot. Every single piece, they usually lands on the field, do whatever, like Alan, or they when something attacks or when they boost, when attack hits, they do something which help you search for your key pieces. So you do have like multiple ways to win the game, and if you're lucky, like on your Blaster Blade turn, you might actually win the game there as well. Maybe if you decided to rush your opponents, like go all out and just go Blaster Blade with crit, swing, gaining another crit and win there, could be. And the key point of using this deck is make all your actions quick, not by not thinking and just spam all the field and attack. That's not what I mean, but to make your opponents take as much damage as possible early game. Even if they heal, let them heal, because once they run out of the heal, all your crits, if they can't guard them, that's gonna hurt. But you do need to like use up all the resources first, so that they will be tired of guarding and can't put up a good formation to fight you. And because you do have the blaster pairs, light and dark, you still have some kind of retiring power instead of some more basic Sentry Guard build that they do focus on pumping power, but they don't have film removal. So sometimes you do see some units that you want to kill, but if you don't have the blaster pair, you can't kill them. But now you do, and luckily with the MLB set, this blaster dark is also counted as Royal Paladin, so you can simply just put him in without any issue and just have fun. Yeah, so I think that's all I need to talk about the deck, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment so I can explain to you more. Yeah, so hope you enjoy it, try to build it out and have fun. I will try to record some fight videos with this deck and see how it goes and show you guys, but I do have another fight videos that will come up this week, but it's not this build, it's more on other grade 3 options with more high power attacking, and you can see how that one is doing, and after that you can see how this build is actually going. Yeah, so thanks for watching guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.